What up, YouTube? Rob here with Eric Leach.
Hello.
Ruiners episode 6. We wanted to do a kind of midweek episode for you guys. We've been talking a little bit about Breaking Bad, and we're getting excited about the new season. That's probably our favorite show.
It's by far.
And so we're getting ready.
Oh, man.
We're ready for it to happen. So we were talking about it. We watched like a behind the scenes video. I'll post a link under on digitalbomb.net so you guys can see that. But let's get into it. Do you have a little recap of last season?
So last season, it was a really bang bang. I mean, just boom 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 boom. A lot of stuff. This is the final season of the series.
It all ends.
It all ends this summer. And what sucks is it ended last summer. Now we had to wait a whole summer.
Yeah.
Or a whole year for this upcoming episode. But anyways, started off where Gus is dead. Walt is the main man, has no competition, and he starts making meth in tinted homes where they're spraying for termites and
love that. Love it.
Which is cool.
Which is like every time I see a home being like bug bombed, I'm like, Walt.
Yep.
Walt, you in there?
Heisenberg Express. Wouldn't that be a funny name for like a termite company?
Yeah.
The Heisenberg Express, something like that. But the very first episode, it has him celebrating his 52nd birthday, so a whole year has passed.
Yeah.
And he goes outside, opens the trunk of his car up, and he's got just a ton of guns. And so that's going to get referenced in this part. Because that's one of the things they do the best.
And his look is completely different.
Yeah. Well,
real rugged.
He's got, I think, like New Hampshire license plates.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in a whole different city or state, and it just everything is just changed. So is he on the run from Hank?
Yeah.
What's he doing? Because that was the big cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Hank finds out that he's
Sitting
Heisenberg, sitting on a toilet. One of the weirdest deals. He finds out that he's Heisenberg. He also, it's kind of coming to a head with Jesse. Jesse hates Mr. White.
Yeah.
He's scared of Mr. White in terms. I call him Walter.
Mr. White.
He's scared of him when he comes and knocks on the door and he has a gun.
Yeah.
And so there's that whole deal. Plus there's that new recruit that he's got, Todd, who's just psychotic and all that. So yeah, really, his wife's going nuts.
Yeah.
And
Try to kill herself.
And then she showed him that the big storage bin full of money.
Yeah.
There's more money than they'll ever be able to spend. So really good first part of the season, but man, I'm super pumped, man.
Really
and I mean, it's like 3 months away. And I'm
know.
Let it start now, please. So.
I hope they keep coming out with some more behind the scenes. Nothing spoilery. I don't even want to be spoiled on it.
Nope.
And we're doing a spoiler show right now.
Yes.
But I want to be like, if I have to like not go on the internet, I'll try.
I'm with you.
Cool. So let's get into it. So we have some theories about the second half of this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to get into mine about Hank. If you remember when Hank's wife got caught stealing, he kind of covered up for her a little bit.
Yep.
It was really implied that he kind of dealt with it, and there was no repercussions for her stealing.
Right.
So I kind of came with this theory that Hank is going to, even though he's been searching, and this has been like his case since he's been hurt, and all through that it's been on his mind. He's been obsessed with it. I think he's going to somehow make it so Walt doesn't get caught. And maybe he sends him away. Maybe he says, get out of town. Get out of here. And then, not that maybe they pin it on Jesse. You know what I mean? So it's like all this stuff comes together, and Hank tells Walt just to get out. And then Walt maybe goes into this like paranoia stage with the guns and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I was just been thinking these last few days as we've been like kind of chatting back and forth about it. But Hank did. I mean, his wife obviously wasn't selling meth, but she was stealing, and he covered for her. But I don't know, maybe blood's thicker than water, and even though he loves his career and he really wants to catch Heisenberg, maybe when he finds out it's Walt, he just can't bring himself to do it.
Yeah, I think that's going to definitely be the main thrust of the first couple of episodes of Hank's trying to figure out what do I do.
Yeah.
Because he has a real loyalty to his family, just like Walt does, except Walt's loyalty is carried out in illegal ways. I'm so loyal. I'm dying of cancer, so I'm going to start making meth. So I leave him behind something. and that turns him into basically a monster.
Definitely.
Hank has loyalty to the family, but he has a real strong concept of justice, and so yeah, that's going to be a real good, and he's a good actor. I mean, the guy that plays Hank's a great actor, so it's going to be really interesting to see what the ultimate decision will be. When you said they're might pin it on Jesse, kind of perked up a little bit. I was like, that would be interesting. Except I think that Jesse has too much information to throw water on that. So, but yeah, maybe they will. Maybe he will find a way to manipulate somebody and pin all the Heisenberg stuff on this.
Definitely.
On this guy. So I like it. That's a good theory. So.
Yeah. And we also had mentioned in a few episodes back when we were doing Breaking Bad during the first half of the season, we were talking about there might be a rat.
Yeah.
Within the group somewhere. So what are your kind of thoughts on that? Like, where do you think that's going to go?
Well, what's interesting is the more I've thought about it, I like yours, which I'll let you have your
the moment of glory.
Your moment of glory, your deal. But there's a lot of different options. I think that would be a really interesting way to take the series, like for the whole time the series or the timeline of the series, there was a rat that knew, that infiltrated. Is it one of the meth head guys?
Yeah,
definitely. Like what a squirrel. What's his name?
Squirrel and just the other dude.
Skinny Pete.
Yes,
Skinny Pete. Not Squirrel. What's the guy's name?
No, I think that was
his name. Squirrel. So anyways, just those two guys. Will they squeeze Saul? Saul is real. He has loyalty to a point.
Yeah.
But it's kind of they've turned Saul.
Definitely. So I was talking about what if Jesse was the rat the whole time, and I think if you look at kind of like the history of movies and like the rat or the undercover cop, they really get caught up in the mix of what's happening.
Yeah.
And if you look at Jesse's his life over the all the seasons, basically, his life has changed according to how deep they're getting into the meth business.
Yeah.
And he's had his struggles. He's had, people that he's loved have died. But one consistency has stayed the whole time is when things started going wrong, he wanted to get out, but he never did.
Never did.
He never could fully leave. He'd always kept coming back, and White would always bring him back. And that to me just, it says rat. Like that says undercover cop, DEA, whatever. But, earlier in the seasons, it's like real not supported, but maybe that's the point.
And I think it is. I mean, there are definitely, from the very first episode when he's making meth and the DEA comes in when Hank goes on the when Walt goes on the ride along with Hank, and they bust this meth lab and Jesse's escaping out of, and that's when Walt and Jesse first meet.
Yeah, maybe
he was undercover.
Maybe he was already undercover then. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there, and he's never killed anybody that's innocent.
Mm-hmm.
The only person he killed was Gale. Well, I think that's the only person he's killed.
I believe so, yeah.
But Gale was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And so it was, there is a possibility. And he does have out of all the characters, he is all the characters, I guess, on that side, the drug side, he has the most morality.
Yeah, definitely.
He really loves kids.
Yeah.
He has a real heart for.
He made that big deal about no kids. Don't with Gus. You can't use kids.
Yep.
If we're going to be involved, no kids. And all that stuff.
And so maybe there's a whole hidden life of Jesse that we just have not seen yet, and that would be, I don't know, man. I think that would be something that would be an interesting way to end it. It would definitely be out of left field.
Yeah.
So. But, we're going to see all of these things. We're going to see the end of it, and then we're going to come back to these and be like, oh, we were so off.
We suck so bad.
Because that's the beauty of this show.
Yeah.
It's so out of left field. You're like, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
It's so great. So, okay, I got a couple questions for you.
All right.
Number one, in the last, so there are, I believe, 8 more episodes left.
Yeah.
Okay. In the last 8 episodes, how many bowls of cereal will Hank Jr. eat? Not Hank, Walt Jr.
Walt Jr.
He's always eating cereal. That guy.
He is. He loves it. I'm going to say 7.
Okay.
We got the ghetto bird above here.
Again, we got.
I don't know if you guys can hear that on the podcast, but helicopter.
That is crazy. My next question. So, what does Walt do about Hank? In terms, do you think Walt finds out that Hank knows?
Well, here's the thing: is Hank's not going to come out of the bathroom and be like, "Walt, we need to talk."
Yeah.
Hank's going to have to sit and think about it.
Mm.
Walt's a pretty smart guy. Walt has been riding the line with Hank, since he's really dove headfirst into the Heisenberg thing.
Yeah.
I think Walt will start to kind of find out. I think Hank's going to kind of be hinting to him and try to find out more.
Okay.
So I think Walt will eventually find out, though.
Okay. We already talked about, my next question was, is there a rat, which we've talked about. But the last one is, does Walt survive at the end of the series?
I'd like to say yes, but in Breaking Bad tradition, I think it's going to just throw everyone for a loop. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that big loop would be that Walt would die.
Yeah. I think we mentioned it on a previous Ruiners, but I think I'd mentioned that Walt has to die.
Yeah.
I think that it stays with the integrity of the show. There's nothing redeemable about Walt.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because he gets into the meth business for, I want to leave behind some money for my family.
Yeah.
And so on one hand, you're like, well, sure, it's illegal, but the concept behind it, okay, I'm dying of cancer. I could die anytime in the next whatever. But he loves his family.
Yeah.
And as the time has gone on, he has done so much damage to so many people, to everyone that he loves, whether they know it or not. And so I think that he has to die. So with that, if he dies, do you think it's going to be a violent death, guns blazing, or is it going to be a non-violent, I'm going to die all alone, cancer's eating away at my body, and because I'm just a miserable.
Yeah, I don't know. The state Breaking Bad's in right now, where it's at, is anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be okay because the story's just so wide open, but it's also so close-knit.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that maybe it could be guns blazing, maybe blows him. What if it just ended, he just blew himself up trying to cook meth by himself one time, and then it was just the end, and it was like Jesse was late, something weird. No, I don't know. I kind of like the concept of him dying, and what's Hank gonna do with that?
Yeah, yeah. And
then Hank maybe just shuts his mouth and says it's over.
I think in Breaking Bad tradition, like you said, I think it would be he needs to die. I think him dying alone would, and no one around him, and if nobody knows, his whole family, his son and whatever, they don't know. But I think he should just die alone and miserable, because that's the kind of character that he is. He's just a horrible person. But
I also liked your theory, if you want to get into it, when Walt kind of goes back into the hospital because of the cancer. Yeah. And so do you want to get into that, your theory, when Jesse comes in? Yeah, no,
I thought it would be a good ending if at the end of his, so he's dying, the cancer's back, and he's in the hospital, and he reveals everything he's done to hurt Jesse, poisoning the Brock and this and that, and killing his girlfriend, or letting his girlfriend die. And he confesses all this stuff, and Jesse loses his mind and starts to kill him, strangle him, or smother him with the pillow or whatever. He's so weak, and Jesse says, "You know what? You're just a miserable man. I hate you. You're scum." And he just lets him just die in pain. Yeah. And then that's it. He has nobody, and so that's kind of where I think it is. I think the guns blazing, because you don't really see him go down that road. And if he did, you know what? I think we're going to be happy with just one. Oh, yeah. Man.
This is one of those, I was thinking about earlier, if we're completely wrong with all of our theories and all of our, whatever we think is going to happen, we're still going to be okay with it.
Yeah, unless it totally is contradictory to everything else that's come before. Yeah. Then I'll be like, what?
If it was all a dream.
Then I'd throw some at the TV. Nay, and not the dream thing, but if it's just everything's fine. Yeah, we got the bad guy, and Walt's cancer went away, and the happily ever after ending, that would just suck. And I mean, that's what people want.
Yeah.
Which stinks. Everyone wants the happily ever after, and that's not what this show is. The show is not going to end happily ever after. It shouldn't end happily.
So you want it to go with the same anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I do too. With maybe the bad guy gets away with it. Not at the same time, we want him to die. You know what I mean? Like, but we also want Heisenberg to live. I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Okay, I want Heisenberg to die. I would hope that there would be a way to redeem Walter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard because it's the same person. There's the duality, and so I just don't know if that's possible. I think they're too intertwined now.
Like we were calling him, or like we named the episode, a few episodes back, Full Heisenberg. Like we said, he's gone full Heisenberg now.
Yeah, and so it's just, I just don't think that would do the series justice.
Yeah.
As if, hey, everything's okay, Walt, and you can die in peace. Your family loves you, because it's clear his wife despises him.
Yeah.
His son has had a on again, off again type relationship with both his mom and his dad.
Yeah.
Now Hank's caught in the middle. I mean, who does he have left? And Jesse hates him.
Yeah.
So
here's their baby. She probably loves him.
Yeah. Well,
Cool. Well, we're excited.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm super pumped, and I was looking for a premiere date. They don't have one yet. It just says summer.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you we'll keep everybody in the loop on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cool. So let's before we get into our movie bracket stuff, I just want to go and just let everyone know I saw a sneak preview of Oblivion, Tom Cruise's new movie. I know we just talked about it on the digital cast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was I think it was this past episode. Great movie.
Good.
I'm going to give a spoiler-free review right now.
Let's hear it.
Because I know you really want to see it, and I don't want to ruin it for you. I do want to ruin it for you, but not for you. I care more about him. Oh, wait. Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
So, spoiler-free. So, you get the kind of premise of it. He's a droid repairman.
Yeah.
On Earth. The whole thing is like we won the war, but we lost Earth.
Okay.
And so it takes place in 2073, 60 years after the invasion, and basically what happens. I mean, there's a ton of twists, ton of turns. You don't see Morgan Freeman until about halfway through the movie. You don't really get a glimpse of the aliens, pretty much at all. It's one of those movies like they're always hidden in the shadows, but this movie like made it really intense and really like on the edge of the seat, like something's gonna happen, and then it takes a twist and something does happen, but it's not what you think. I give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Probably one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. I know I told you before, Collateral. I thought he was amazing in Collateral. I thought the whole movie was awesome. But this one was, I mean, from the start to the finish, it started off with a flashback. And the whole movie, you're trying to kind of figure out, like, what hit, they did, like, a memory wipe on everyone so they would forget the invasion. And he's
crazy.
He's going back. Ooh, watch out, water. He's going back, and he's remembering things. He's remembering him and a girl staying on top of the Empire State Building. And he's kind of trying to find his way with that.
Okay.
And it was a great movie. Soundtrack was awesome. All the acting was great. There were some effects that weren't finished when I saw it, so I am actually looking forward to seeing it in the theater and getting the whole experience. One of my favorite scenes is something goes wrong, and there's these droids that go around, and they're basically what's happening is they're sucking the ocean's water up. The humans are to better. They're taking all what's left of Earth's resources to where the humans are now. They're up in like this big spaceship thing, and they have droids to protect it from the aliens that are still on Earth. And something goes wrong, and he ends up in a chase scene with the drones, and it was really intense. And I really look forward to seeing that when it's like fully finished. But that was probably my favorite scene in the movie was the chase scene.
Cool.
So yeah, it's very
cool.
So
action heavy,
drama heavy, acting heavy, story heavy, like really story heavy.
Okay.
But it keeps you guessing the whole time, like, what is this? What is that? What is this? But like, there's so much story and so much going on. You're not like, this sucks.
What was the weakness? Any weakness at all?
Yeah, definitely a weakness is there were parts where it seemed very slow.
Okay.
And I think they were just trying to get the feeling across that Tom Cruise his name's Jack. in the movie.
Jack Reacher?
Jack.
Oh, crossover.
Jack something. Jack Hanna.
Jack Sprat.
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
They're trying to get the point across that he's missing home, that he
Okay.
misses Earth the way it was, and but those parts did feel a little slow. So they gave us a ballot after it, and I filled it out, and they asked us not to blog or review it on the internet, and here we are. Out of respect for the,
I am
the
not
director.
Hollywood. I wasn't there.
It was me.
It's
Come
this
after
guy.
me. You already made me put my phone away in the theater. But anyway, yeah, it was a great. I'm definitely gonna see it when it comes out, like for sure.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, it's cool.
I really want to see it. It looks amazing. A lot of good sci-fi stuff coming out this next few months. So
Also based off a graphic novel, which I found out today.
ooh,
So I'm actually gonna check that out.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it a lot. Good. I'm excited about it. I know that there's some really good ones
Mhm.
coming out that I'm looking forward to. So the movie bracket.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, it's been some of our brackets have had, a number of votes. Up to almost 20 people have voted on it. If you
Tens and tens.
haven't voted on it yet,
Head over to the facebook.com/dbcomedy and vote.
you don't even have to be a fan of the Digital Bomb Facebook page, but you should.
You should.
because it will help your life. It just will help your life. But yeah, this is one of the funnest things
Yeah.
that we've done. So, but yeah, some of the ones that are really close. It's 10-8. The Matrix over Shawshank Redemption. We actually called that. That was going to be
Yeah.
a tough.
That was the hardest one for me.
And it's funny because this is Jamie's bracket, and Jamie had The Matrix as, I think, the number 2 of 16.
Yeah.
And Shawshank was his 15th favorite movie. And we're like, dude, come on. Just as much as he was killing me about a certain bracket, but yeah, it's good. And then there's others where it's just ridiculously one-sided. Tommy Boy is crushing Armageddon.
Yeah.
Because Tommy Boy is just better anyway. Home Alone is beating Terminator 2.
By how much?
10-4.
10-4. Wow. Okay.
So-
I voted for Home Alone.
Yeah. So this is Friday that we're doing this, and we're not going to call it's not going to be done until Tuesday.
Tuesday night. Yeah.
So, I mean, there is still time to swing these around. Jurassic Park is crushing Dumb and Dumber 14-2.
Nice.
But a lot of them are close. They're maybe 3-4 off. Happy Gilmore 7, Reservoir Dogs 5.
Wow.
I mean,
It's close.
my gosh. What was the other one I saw that was very... Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China is whooping
yeah.
Top Gun. Well, not whooping. 7. They have 7 votes. Top Gun has 3 votes.
Yep.
Back to the Future 7 votes. Ghostbusters 4 votes. So
Crazy.
yeah. So I mean, it's fun to see. This was my favorite one. The Karate Kid 10, Flash Gordon 3.
Oh yeah.
It's me, my brother, and one other guy. So there you go. But yeah, it's really interesting to just see who's voting for what. And
Yep.
next week, so this closes on Tuesday, the 80s and 90s bracket, and then Wednesday
night.
Wednesday night we'll open up the basically 2000 on. So
Yep.
there's 2 different brackets: 2000 to 2006, which is yours, and then 2007 to present day. So.
Which is Mike's, which is a great bracket.
Yeah, every bracket's great, and so I'm really looking forward to it. I think that just get involved.
Get involved, vote. This is going to be how many weeks? 4 weeks?
No, it's going to be like 6 weeks.
6 weeks of voting, and we're going to get it down to 2
Yeah, we'll get it down to a championship matchup.
just like in Karate Kid.
So the final 4 will have 1 movie from each of our brackets.
Yep.
And so that's where it'll be a lot of fun. I think that's where we'll get.
That's where we're going to be ripping each other.
We'll get real dicey, and I think that's when we'll definitely have to just say, okay, this is why my movie. That's what we should do on the podcast. This is why my movie should beat all of your movies.
We should make our claim.
Yeah, just
our debate.
And then a lot of punching.
Yeah, punching sound effects.
So yeah,
Cool.
so it was. This is good.
It's cool. Yeah, awesome. Well, awesome. Thanks for sitting down with me.
problem, man.
Looking forward to Breaking Bad. Looking forward to next episode of Ruiners. We'll have one out this coming week as well for Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to keep that going strong. We're going to check out The Following on Monday, and we'll keep it going. So until next time, ruin someone's life.